Onto the Tombs of a Mascot changes. Hell yes, dude. I'm not done with Toa. Still need the Shadow, so I'm excited to see what's here. And I've already heard a little bit about it. So Old School's third raid feels like it was released only yesterday. Does it? When in fact, it's been almost 3 years since we set foot into Tombs of a Mascot. While we announced at RuneFest that Raids 4 is on the books for 2026, we'd like to make some adjustments to Toa and set it up for success down the line. First, we'll detail changes that we'd like to make to the raid itself, with a focus on the puzzle rooms and the bosses. After that, we need you to help point us in the right direction for what we believe are some much needed loot adjustments. Toa boss changes. We got okay, we have some changes to every boss on here. It looks like that's cool. More for some than others. Baba. Currently, the most effective way to kill Baba is red Xing. Yep, famous red X method to avoid Baba using attacks. You'll give up some DPS to do this, but put yourself in a position of absolute safety so long as your timing's on point. We're always fans of emergent and creative gameplay, but think where Baba sits right now is pretty dull. And you'd be correct. And we'd like to change the pacing of the fight a little to make the core experience more engaging, which might make Red X a little less necessary. Protect from melee now mitigates all damage from Baba unless invocations which reduce the effectiveness of protection prayers are activated. Baba spawns fewer baboons, which will die after 1 hit. Thank fuck, dude. It's always so nice when you one-shot the baboons. Whenever it takes 3-4 fucking hits on them just because you're noodling, it feels so bad, dude. One-shotting them is going to be amazing. If Jungle Japes is turned on, we see you running your banana fives. Wait, what? Then baboons will drop more bananas on death. Oh, no. Oh, shit. Okay. Interesting. Damage from the debris is now fully shifted onto anything you split damage with, boulders and sarcophagi alike, which should make things a little less frantic. So basically, as it stands, if you go over to one of the sarcophagi, I guess is how the plural of that, you only mitigate like half the damage instead of like 90% or some shit. It looks like they're going to be changing that to make it the same as sharing damage with a boulder, which is cool. Especially because splitting the damage with a sarcophagi is actually bad because it makes it to where the baboons can kill it a lot easier. We're hoping that these tweaks make the fight feel more fair and make engaging with the mechanics feel more rewarding, which has been the struggle for players at higher raid level due to how much unavoidable damage Baba can dish out. True. Akka. In almost any other content, Akka's got enough going on. He's more than final boss worthy. Legit. In my opinion, Akka's probably the hardest boss fight in Toa. Except for maybe if you have Insanity turned on, then Insanity takes a bit to get used to. Perhaps a little too much, true. We'd like to tone down the intensity of the default fight a tad while maintaining Akka's identity, so that he's more fun to interact with as intended if you've not sprouted your butterfly wings yet. Nice. Protection prayers now mitigate more damage from Akka. Stay Vigilant invocation is getting a small rework. The changes look as follows. Akka will swap styles whenever he uses a special attack. Okay. Butterfly's dead? What? Akka will use special attacks more often. Okay. Butterfly's definitely dead. This will mirror the number of specials he uses at the moment with this invocation active. Oh, well, it's still kind of dead. Whenever Akka swaps styles, it respect the same predictable order as the base variant's overhead swaps do, rather than swapping randomly. Okay. Akka now only prays against the style that he's attacking with. So you can attack with 2 different combat styles on him. So you can use mage more often. Okay, I mean, if they're getting rid of butterfly, now you can use mage for 2/3 of the fight anyways. All right, Akka stat drain effect now only affects combat skills. I didn't even know that it affected more than combat skills. That's kind of funny. Special attacks will occur every 7 attacks rather than every 6 attacks. The number of orbs during Akka's enrage phase. We're not saying the other thing. This is what Meerkat shared. Of course, they're not saying the other thing. I will. The number of orbs during Akka's come phase has been reduced. Thank you, Jagex. Thank you, Jagex. The hardest part of the whole raid. Oh my god. Ultimately, the hope here is that the fight is at baseline. At a baseline feels more approachable rather than let my friend butterfly nonstop because the boss is scary. True, dude. Then drink 14 brews of proc redemption twice during the final phase. Literally, man. That's how it is, bro. If you don't drink those 14 brews, you're just gonna die. We'll catch you in the next room. All right, Kefri. We've got far less to say here than on Baba Naka. Makes sense. But think we can address some of the biggest pain points with a handful of tiny tweaks. Here goes. Lower the magic defense of the soldier crab. Dude, having a trident makes it like, it makes it feel worthless. It makes you feel like you're not doing anything swapping to the soldier crab, that's the melee crab, and hitting him with a trident. It's so bad. Scarabs no longer scale their defense with the raid level. That's cool. Hell yes. It means they're going to be easier to kill. And arcane scarabs are guaranteed to move after a certain number of attacks, regardless of those attacks hitting or missing. Sweet. Hell yeah. It'll be less random mage attacks just because you're noodling. Zabak, waves no longer push the player back, but deal 30% more damage. So you'll go through the waves. Oh, that sounds a lot less dangerous. Okay. And then for wardens, skull bombs during P2 can no longer land underneath the active warden or obelisk. What? Oh, I see. The skull bomb, the ones that you stand next to, of course. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I mean, those were kind of hard to see. I don't know about the obelisk. I know it can go near the obelisk. I don't know if it's ever been on the obelisk, but I also don't stand near the obelisk. So that doesn't really affect me. But underneath the warden itself is kind of a good change for sure. And then Toa puzzle changes. All right. This is cool. Cursed baboons and baboon shamans on Path of Atmakan will always take maximum damage from range attacks. Good. Bypassing accuracy. Hell yes. The cursed baboons, it's so annoying having, like, not one-shotting them. They've only got 10 HP for the most part, at least in the invocation levels that I run. But you can get drugged right into venom because you hit like 3 fucking zeros. It's so annoying. Let's see, their HP will be increased slightly to compensate. That's okay. But this should feel a lot better. 2 waves of monkey assailants will be removed from the Path of Atmakan, making it a lot faster. Okay. Especially if it's the last 2 waves that have a lot of monkeys in them. The amount of water required for Path of Krondis no longer scales linearly with the players, meaning there's less pressure on your beginner friends to get it right or be stuck watching a cheeky crocodile undoing all your hard work. For real. The hit points on the obelisk on the Path of Het are slightly reduced so that 1 downs don't require boosting above 99 mining or doing like the pre-hit trick with the green pie timer. Toa miscellaneous changes. The big pot in the Nexus will become a fully functional deposit box. So you can, you might be able to deposit more than just raid supplies. Okay, that's kind of cool. So you might be able to just drop off some shit that you don't need anymore. Like blue Karis or something like that if you're bringing that. Any drain stats will be restored at the end of the boss fight. Nice. And smelling salts will reapply their boosts as they... Oh, that's cool too. That's cool too. First change you like? Dude, honestly, I'm liking most of these. Like, are you telling me you don't like the where's it at? The less cum during cum phase? You don't like that? You crazy, bro. You crazy, dude. Toa loot changes. We've kind of already gone over some of this, so I don't know how much it's going to be different. Naturally, it's hard to talk about Toa without talking about its uniques and loot. We spoke about adjustments to the regular loot in the previous section, okay? But we want to hear from you regarding uniques. Before we start, it's important to say that this is something we've had our eye on for a while. Without looking any further, I'm wondering if they're going to talk about Fang and like Lightbearer being more rare because they are in the bin price-wise. I think the Fang is like 8 mil or 9 mil. It's crazy. It's pretty low price. The changes above will make the raid faster, but we believe loot here is already problematic and don't want to hold off on making the raid better because we're apprehensive about making changes to loot. True, actually, I didn't think about it, of course, being faster, so there will be even more of these items in the game. I think the only question I have is how the salts will be if you only get 1 salt in the raid. if it'll immediately use it, even if you're intending to save it for Warden. I mean, you don't use your salts like that, or like you'll still use your own salts and stuff. Oh, are you talking about this? The smelling salts will reapply their boost as they expire. No, not reapply the salt. It'll reapply, so it'll boost up your stats all the way to like 125 or whatever as they end, so you can brew down before that without having to worry about whether or not it's going to restore your stats in time for it to expire. On release, we received a lot of feedback around higher raid levels not feeling particularly worthwhile, which we did act upon and likely overcorrected. Add on top of that all the changes over the years and player skill improvements that make higher raid levels easier and easier, and we have one of the best melee weapons in the game sitting below 10 mil. I thought so. On the market, and one of the strongest rings in the game around 2 mil. Yep. Dude, I had a feeling it was Fang and Lightbearer related. While it's not quite as drastic, if the Scythe of Vitor was sitting at the price of 20 mil, we'd sure you'd agree that it would be damaging for both the Theater of Blood and the wider game. Of course, the Fang isn't as good as the Scythe, but there are still many places where it shines or is a close second. And we believe its value is too far south of where it should be for it to be healthy. It might be the case that we've waited too long to make a meaningful change here. Probably. It's been, 3 years, bro. But we believe it's better to try to make changes for the long-term benefit than to hold up our hands and say it's too late. I could agree with that. We've waited far too long to make changes here. It's hard to have these conversations because they're always emotionally charged. It could be difficult to feel like we're riding the ship. So the benefit to this is if the Fang goes up, it feels better when you get a Fang, rather than getting more Fangs, but they feel like shit because they're 9 mil a piece. It would feel a lot better if a Fang was still 30 mil. All that to say, we're looking to make some changes. Exactly what those changes are isn't something we've landed on yet. We have options, and we're open to suggestions, which is why we're asking, okay, sweet. We can swap the weightings of the Fang and Lightbearer with Elodinus Ward. That sounds good because I'm still missing Elodinus Ward. Just only give me one, please. There's a lot that we could do, so let us know where your heads are at, and we'll make sure to detail exactly what we will do ahead of time. Other PvM or other combat and PvM focus changes. Fasani Nightmare. Oh, dude. Oh, bro, I hope they make shit a little bit more common, because it's still such a grind, and a grind that most people aren't even going to do until they've like completed every fucking thing else, because Inquisitor is so niche that, and the staves are so niche that it's not worth taking time out of going to like Nex, for example, to get the Inquisitor set. I would love for it, but they did just recently change the drop rates, so I'm not expecting it. It wouldn't be a follow-on from Project Rebalance if we weren't talking about the Nightmare again. Mechanically, Fasani Nightmare is one of the most enjoyable solo encounters in the game for many players. She boasts loads of interesting attacks with clear telegraphs and can be killed in very budget gear with next to no damage taken if done properly. That said, the fight can drag a little with its 4 near identical phases or the frantic finale. Oh, they're going to make the fight faster? Okay. We reckon the pace of the encounter could be improved, so we'd like to outright remove one of the earlier phases from the fight. This means you'd expect 2 normal phases and the 3rd phase with the prayer disable mechanic, and then the final phase. We'd also like to adjust combat achievements times to compensate, but don't know exactly what those times might look like at this stage. We'll not be adjusting drop rates alongside this change. That makes sense. It makes sense. They definitely want to see what, if they reduce the amount of time the fight takes, they're going to want to see what the drop rates and like time to completion is. That's fucking awesome. Very happy about that. That's cool. And hundreds of kills, the amount of phases did feel kind of draining. Yeah, I mean, I haven't done any Fasani Nightmare. I don't intend to until they keep nerfing the drop rate or buffing, however you want to look at it, to make it worth going to Fasani's. And this might do the trick. We'll see. It might do the trick. Keeping on theme, we've got another in-game encounter that could use some improvements. Next, baby. One of the foremost complaints about Nex is that taking her down can feel like a bit of a brew simulator. True, dude. Due to lots of chip damage, unpredictable aggro swaps, unpredictable attack patterns in certain phases, and a few opportunities to heal up, without sacrificing DPS, which in turn elongates the fight and needs you to heal up even more. We've got a handful of tweaks to improve the feel of this fight, including some that should let skilled groups reduce their incoming damage so long as they're coordinated. Okay. Allow players to deal reduced damage past Nexus phase transitions. Oh my God. Okay, yes. It always feels so bad when you get like a Ruby proc or something like that, and it nulls the entire damage. So at least we're getting some of that damage on a null. That's awesome. It'd probably be like 50% like some other things in the game. Mass groups will likely hit these thresholds easily, but won't see noticeable reductions in kill times since they're already so fast. Yeah, they are incredibly fast in masses. Adjust some of the behaviors during downtime phases to let players heal up without feeling punished. We'll achieve this by letting players heal from damage dealt to Blood Reavers. Okay. Though we're open to further changes if absolutely necessary. Make her melee attack a little less stickier during all phases. I don't know what that means. This means that if Nex uses a melee attack, she'll use 2 more before swapping. Gotcha. Okay. Similar to the change we made to Mudadiles in 2023. I don't even know what that was, but okay. Additionally, reduce the damage dealt by her magic attack in the final phase if you turn on Protect Magic. Bet. Oh, late. Okay, meaning even if you're not praying already, you can still mitigate the damage. Okay, cool. Nice. You can react to that now. That's awesome. We're not looking to drastically adjust Nex as a fight, but think that providing you more avenues to reduce incoming damage might make things feel a little more engaging and trivializing the encounter entirely, without trivializing the encounter entirely. Hell yes, Huey Coatl. All right, moving away from in-game for a moment, but sticking with the boss that's usually taken down in masses for small teams. We're heading to Varlamore to take a look at the fearsome Huey Coatl. All right. To start with, we'd like to improve the tail phase with a little clearer visuals to bring the tail's hit points so that you can get back to hitting Huey in the face and body again. Okay, bet. What's a little more complicated is figuring out who Huey is for. As far as unique equipment drops go, you can snag yourself a Dragon Hunter wand and some Huey Coatl hide to make a nifty set of armor. The problem with the wand is often outperformed by other setups for mid-level players against dragons, and dragons aren't killed all that often either beyond the draconic bosses like KBD, Orcath, Hydra, or Ulm. And by the time you're tackling these foes, you're likely sporting better gear to boot. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the Trident is way better than the Dragon Hunter wand at Ulm, for example. Crazy. And they're going to give Alchemical Hydra an elemental weakness, as we saw in the other part of the blog. So the wand could be pretty good. Could be pretty good. This makes it a niche weapon that's on the weaker side, definitely, which is also a hefty grind for Huey's target audience. Not good. We'd like to boost the wand's power, improve its drop rate, and make some adjustments to Huey Coatl hide too, so that they sit in a better spot for the kinds of players who Huey's aimed at. Bet. To achieve this, we'd like to do the following. Bonus damage versus dragons increase from 20 to 40%. I'm assuming that's with the wand. Bonus accuracy increase from 50 to 75%. Okay. The ability, so it's basically like adding a Slayer helm to the wand. Holy shit. Okay. The ability to autocast Ancients. This one's not all that useful against dragons, but might have a niche use for some weaknesses while tackling dragons. Okay, gotcha. Oh, wait, I skipped it. So for some blood barrage antics on extended trips. Okay, yep, I fucked up. Make the wand 3 times as common. Oh my God. Meaning you'd see one in every 69 kills rather than every 207 if you're soloing. Wow. Holy fucking shit. That's crazy. 69 solos. Nice. Improve the drop rate of Huey Coatl hide from 1 in 35 to 1 in 30. Not crazy, but still cool. Upon receiving Huey Coatl hide, you'll always receive 3. Bro. Then that's all you need for the clue step, too. That's fucking beautiful. I'm pretty sure that's all you need. Or is it 4? It might be 4. Ah, shit. I'll look it up later. Regardless, always getting 3 is cool. Lower the crafting requirement of the Huey-Coatl hide armor, meaning it's easier to make than Black Dragon hide, but it is harder to obtain. Nice. Coupled with the Great Olm being given an elemental earth weakness, we think this should position the Dragon Hunter wand as a much more impactful unlock, though it'll still get outperformed by higher tiered powered staves later on in your journey, benefiting its rarity and its relatively niche use cases. So I'm wondering if that means that Trident is still going to outperform it. I kind of hope not. Perilous moons and defensive rings. Okay. Most of what we're looking to do is a quality of life pass. We'd like to improve the click boxes on the moons themselves, since their movement can sometimes make them a little annoying to click. Very true. Okay. For some more specific changes, the most impactful here is reducing the number of tornadoes during the blue moons. Some people might actually do that phase instead of just AFKing in the middle. I don't know who would do that, but some people do. Which means that some players opt to not engage with the mechanic at all. Yep. While not strictly related to the Moons of Peril, we'd also like to explore adding a new reward to aid players getting into it. Offering powerful armor sets and weapons in all 3 styles, the Moons have become a staple progression point for many players. But even with the damage mitigating strategies like step unders, it's still possible to take a real beating here, even while wearing your tankiest gear. It really is. To that end, we'd like to add a defensive focused ring somewhere to aid players in racking up kill count. Oh, to the deranged archaeologist. Okay. All right, that's kind of cool. It's a new ring. They're not saying what it's called yet. This might step on the toes of the Ring of Suffering a little, but the Ring of Suffering still has range defense, magic defense, prayer bonus, and a recoil effect on top. With its value being largely tied to other Zenite jewelry, we're pretty confident this shouldn't harm the Ring of Suffering's position in the game. Probably not, yeah. Granite Ring new? Granite Ring I. Is that... Since we're on the topic of defense-oriented rings, we think the Granite Ring could stand a little stronger when considering its source. So we'd like to bump the numbers up a little. That's bumping them up? Wait, what? I thought for sure it was a little bit better than that. They made a mistake. Okay, I was about to say. All right, yeah, that's pretty low. Okay, so we'll have to see when they edit that. I mean, it's kind of cool. Maybe it'll have a use. I mean, as it stands, Granite Ring is not used anywhere. Obor and Bryophyta keys. Oh, shit. Okay. This is something we wanted to do alongside Royal Titans, but didn't have time to implement it as we'd have liked. It is no secret that the key system used to fight Obor and Bryo isn't the most well-liked, particularly if you're gated out of combat achievements because you've not done your shift at the Hill or Moss Giants. On the flip side, their uniques are valuable for the tier of players that they're aimed at and would likely plummet in value if they are freely obtainable. Plus, it's nice to have the occasional, oh, cool moment if you're on a Hill Giant or Hill or Moss Giant Slayer task. That means we need to find a new way to open the bosses up a little, protect their uniques, and retain some use cases for keys that players might already have or obtain in the future. Here's what we've cooked up. Obor and Bryo no longer require a key to be fought. What? Obor and Bryophyta can drop their own respective keys, which they can already do. To compensate, each of them is given... So are they going to have a chest, like after you kill it or something? To compensate, each of them is given a reduced, simple loot table. So it becomes a farmable boss. Okay. This loot table is similar to the regular Giants variant, with a chance at giant bones for a chunk of prayer XP when buried. They can't be offered altars. That's cool. Okay. An increased chance for each boss's respective key. Inside of each of their layers is a chest requiring a giant or mossy key to open, whose loot table is the same as the existing one. This chest can only be opened after the boss is defeated. And I'm assuming only once as well. Maybe not, though. We reckon the solution ticks all the bases. That's pretty cool. I like that. It gives keys a use still, but also, doesn't make you have to grind 100 hours of Moss Giants to get your fucking. Actually, I think 100 hours is. I don't know what the average time on that is. They're making changes to Cerberus. Okay. Who let the? How much longer is this? Oh my god. Okay, actually, we got 3 more sections left. Not bad. Who let the dogs out? Oh dear God. Fortunately, not the Keymaster. He's got Cerberus under lock and key, ready for your Hellhound Slayer tasks. Bro, I hope they increase the amount of Keymaster teleport scrolls you get. Please increase the amount of Keymaster teleport scrolls you get. Over the years and over the course of many Hellhound Slayer tasks, it's become clear that Cerberus isn't everybody's cup of tea, but we reckon a few small tweaks could drastically improve the feel of the boss. Adjust the lava pool attack so it's easier to react or predict, okay, and reduce the radius so that they only deal damage on the tile where they're spawned. That's fucking awesome, because currently they deal damage to the tiles surrounding it as well. Slightly improve the drop rate of Keymaster teleport scrolls so that it's more feasible to break even if you're doing extended trips. Thank fuck. And make Keymaster teleport scrolls tradable in line with other teleport scrolls. Bet, dude. Doesn't apply to me, but I don't care. It's a good change. Adjust Ward of Arceus, whatever, to provide reduce incoming prayer drain stats from demons by 30%. This is targeted to... Whoa. Okay, that's fucking huge. Dude, now you don't have to get the spectral before going. That's huge, man. But it has other uses. It has uses of other demons too. What other demon reduces your prayer? Interesting. This one actually stems from a player suggestion that we thought was pretty cool and cropped up while writing this post. We'd rather give players active solutions to problems than just remove them entirely. Okay, my bad. Cerberus has been killed hundreds of thousands of times, and most primordial crystal seekers have long since recovered from their prayer potion squeeze. Yeah. Now we're on to next, and it's the brew simulator, but maybe that changed now. Who knows? This stacks with the spectral shield. Nice. Okay. Duke. No preamble needed. We could rightfully talk about Duke without talking about the prep phase. I was about to say, I hope it does something to the prep phase, please. In the last league, we effectively allowed players to prep infinitely, which we think made sense given the speed of kills made possible during Raging Echoes. For the main game, we don't think infinite prep is the way to go. Before you raise your pitchforks, hear us out. This isn't a case of us wanting to see you suffer, but Duke as an encounter was designed with both the fight itself and the prep phase in mind. So just increase its health, bro. Increase the fucking health and it's fine, man. We don't think that the fight alone holds up well enough that it makes sense to do an absolute boatload of prep and repeat a super simple fight over and over without the variety of a little spot of gathering to break things up. Having said all that, we know we could strike a better balance, so we'd like to propose letting you prepare for 3 kills in advance. Okay, it's not infinite, that's fine. I feel like being able to prep for more than 1 is a W. That's awesome. Hell yes. We'd like to propose letting you prepare for 3 kills in advance, meaning you can hold enough raw resources to provide 6 vials of Artemusca poison. This means you can do a significantly longer prep phase to let you to set you up for a number of kills, which should be at least a step towards reducing the time spent prepping for players who aren't a fan. Naturally, this means kills per hour will increase, so we'll be bumping Duke's HP up by 10%. That's it? Okay, and adjusting CAs. We expect this one to generate some chatter. I feel like that's awesome. More mushroom spam. I know, it's so good. I did mushroom spam for all of my kills, and I this is amazing. This is what I've been waiting for. I don't know if I'll ever go back to Duke because I did technically green log it, but yeah, I mean, I can go back there. Like if I get a Slayer task, I might even max it out. Who knows? Other changes, and this is the last section here. While we've taken the time to give a little more detail on the headlines, we have a handful of other changes. All right, increase the range of the tonsil sticks of Rallos. Okay. Allow halberds to hit flying enemies like Aviancies. I thought that was supposed to come with the melee Zulrah, but very glad they're adding it. Allow Demonbane weaponry to work on Ice Demon. Okay, that's kind of cool. I didn't even think about that not working. All right, Fire Surge should still remain the most effective way. Yeah, for sure. Add some kind of indicator drop for successful rolls on vestiges. Yes, there it is, boys. Oh, dude. Each vestige requires 3 invisible rolls going on behind the scenes. We'd like to add some kind of drop, a gold ring, for example, that lets you know when you've hit a roll for on the vestige. Oh, dude, that's so good. If you've already hit 1 or 2 of the 3 rolls, you receive an indicator on your progress on your next kill. Effectively, this doesn't change anything without about how soon you'll obtain your vestige, but you'll know how close you are. That's so good, dude. Players with the Grandmaster Combat achievements completed will now be able to show their Zuck Helm and to the Czar and gain on-task damage bonuses without any other on-task benefits. Oh, I see. So you don't have to hunt for Slayer tasks for speed running. Gotcha. I mean, that's kind of cool. You don't get Slayer XP, but you do get the doesn't fucking matter. This is for 5 people in the game that have the Zuck Helm. The Grandmaster Combat achievement reward that increases the duration of thralls to 2 minutes will be moved down to Master. That's cool. This will probably be this is probably the reward that feels the most impactful and most frustrating of the rewards to lose on a new release. So we'd like to bump it down to alleviate frustrations. Cool. Tidy up magic attack animation spells and powered staves in PvM scenarios so that they don't visually delay the player's movement. I think that's mostly like the Warp Scepter and Shadow. I'm pretty sure both of those have crazy magic attack animations. That's a wrap. Honestly, I like pretty much all this. This is awesome. Duke, I love that you can prep for 3 kills now. That's awesome. For Serb, the being able to predict the lava pools and their damage radius being smaller, amazing. Keymaster teleport scrolls being more common, amazing. And then actually probably the most important here, I guess. Where the fuck did it go? Oh, the ward reducing the prayer drain by 30%. That's great. Everyone is Wing this post, by the way. Good. This is amazing. I'm glad it's not just me. This is awesome. The key Bryophyta and Obor keys, great. I love that. The new defensive ring, I don't know. Maybe they could just boost these stats of this by a little bit. Maybe they don't need another ring. Although it would give you a reason to go after deranged archaeologists, so sure, whatever. Huey, great additions to the Dragon Hunter wand. I hope it's better than better against dragons than just plain old magic or like powered staves. Maybe not the Shadow, but next, that's awesome. Being able to heal off the Blood Reavers and being able to react to the prayer in phase 3. That's great. Nightmare. I'm always open to nightmare changes. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. This might be the update I've been waiting for to actually engage in Nightmare. Maybe not. Maybe it's not enough yet. We'll see. Toa loot changes make sense. The Fang and Lightbearer are pretty rough shapes. And then honestly, I'm pretty sure I liked all of these Toa changes. Those are fucking beautiful. That's amazing. So yeah, overall, crazy good blog. Check out this video right here for the previous part of this blog. It's pretty beefy. There's a whole other half to this blog. Click the video on the screen now. Take it easy, boys.